Hi, welcome to MediatorPodcast.com, a podcast and video series about mediation, negotiation, and collaboration. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I provide valuation and divorce mediation services in St. Louis, Missouri. During this episode, we will discuss the divorce mediation process and the Better Apart method with Gabrielle Hartley. She is a leading divorce attorney, online mediator, and author of Better Apart. She's also a vice chair in the American Bar Association's dispute resolution section. And when she wrote Better Apart, Gwyneth Paltrow actually endorsed her book. So typically the mediator is not going to file for divorce.
That's correct.
You're still going to, so people come into mediation saying, well, I want to do mediation because I don't want to deal with lawyers. I don't want to pay any lawyers. And I'm like, yeah, so you're still going to have to get a lawyer involved.
Right. So there are some DIY platforms in certain states. Erin Levine has Hello Divorce. Laura Wasser has It's Over Easy. There's something called the Quick Divorce. They're not all over the country, but there are places. Some states have easy to file papers, but if you've got kids and you've got stuff, you're going to need to have a separation agreement. You just are, because you're going to need something that's going to designate who gets what, how the kids are going to be managed between your households. And, like I said in the very beginning, hard now, easy later. The more certainty and predictability that your agreement has, the fewer conflicts you're going to have as you move along. So if someone hires me from Massachusetts or from New York, I will do the entire separation agreement because I'm a lawyer here and there, and I know how to do it. And there is presently no conflict for me to do it. It just says I'm a lawyer. They were advised to get, they're advised to get separate lawyers. I'm serving as their neutral. But I still don't do all the paperwork. I always send people out, unless it's very simple, to do the paperwork. When I have clients who are in different parts of the country, I do my best to help them find mediation-friendly attorneys. But typically, most of the expense of the process is in coming up with the terms of the separation agreement, right? And so what we do is what's going to avoid all the court. And then it's just the administrative fees for the filing. And I imagine there's a really big range in those fees. But think about how much more they would be if you were having conversations at $400 or $600 an hour, each of you separately, and then the lawyers are coming together. So you might be able to do it with me in 10 hours or 4 hours or, something like that. And you have to consider when you're doing it with the lawyers, you're both having your venting sessions, the lawyers are coming together, you're going separate again. You're probably looking at more like 30 or 50 hours. So just do that math and you're going to realize how much more efficient it is to go to a mediator. Now, how long it will take really depends on who you hire and where you live. In Manhattan, there's a bigger backlog than in Massachusetts. From what I understand, Connecticut has even a longer backlog right now because of COVID. So you need to find out locally what the runway is. And if you have a very simple divorce, you might be able to go to some local mediator who can just do it for you very quickly, and they have relationships with local lawyers. If you have a more complicated divorce, you're going to want to hire someone like me or somebody else, Susan Guthrie, someone who does a lot of high-end divorces, who has more experience in that regard. And I would say it's kind of like going to the dentist. You went in with your teeth and then you got a crown and it's a couple of $1,000s later and you're like, gosh, darn it, that was so expensive and I feel exactly the same. So it might cost more, but you're going to feel better when it's all over. And especially if you do it well. I think this is like, I don't want to compare your divorce to a spa day, but but I do think that you can have a divorce that's actually, the whole process can be pleasant. Yeah. Even if it's sad, it can be, it can feel like a relief. I've had lots of divorces where people have been very grateful and very expressive of their gratitude.